This is my full guide to building an aesthetic physique as a male. So I encourage you to not skip around, and please watch this in order. You can skip this up through days, watch some today, watch some tomorrow, and whatnot if you want. But anyways, let's get into it. Chapter 1. Creating a routine. So in the past, you may have went to the gym and you kind of just go through the machines, whatever. You head to lat pull downs maybe, and then it gets a bit boring. So then I'm going to go to bench press, and then you go to bench press, right? And it's getting heavy. Maybe you can't bench a plate yet, which is okay, but it's really heavy and you're getting bored there too. So then you go off to leg extension, but then you're using the heavy weight for you and it's really hard and it really burns my quads. So I'm just going to leave. And then you don't come back the next week. And then the next week. And then the next week. And then the next week. And before you know it, 3 months have gone by and you've only been to the gym once in that period of time. If this sounds like you, then you need a structured routine. Chapter 1.3. When should I go to the gym? The first basic rule in creating your routine is to have at least 1 to 2 rest days. Now, what I mean by rest days is not doing resistance training, okay? Specifically, not doing resistance training. I do not mean you can't do any cardiovascular exercise. I don't mean you can't go for a walk. You just don't leave your bed the whole day. That's not what I mean at all. I mean, simply do not lift weights. And I actually want to encourage you to do cardiovascular exercise on your rest days. So, what I think you should do is on your rest days, choose a form of cardio that you like. I like jujitsu as my form of cardio. Maybe for you, it's boxing, or it's running, or riding your bicycle. Whatever it is, you need to choose a form of cardio that you like, because you should do cardio for your heart and whatnot, cardiovascular system, everything. You should be doing cardio on your rest days, but basic rule, 1 to 2 rest days, and do not, I repeat, do not lift weights on the rest days, okay? That is just the basic, simple rule for creating a routine. 1 to 2 rest days, and do not lift weights on the rest days, but you should do cardio. So choose a form of cardio you like and start doing that. But why should we take rest days is a question you might be asking. Well, the reason we need to take rest days is because when we exercise, specifically when we do resistance training, lifting weights, our muscle fibers are constantly being torn down. Constantly. They're being torn down by the tension on the muscles when you're lifting the weights. So say you're doing like a chest press. When you go down, especially on the negative, those chest fibers, they're tearing. Every single second there's tension. They keep on tearing. Maybe not at the top of the motion here, but as you go down and as you go up, they are continuously tearing. Now, the reason we need to rest is to regenerate those muscle fibers that are tearing so we can grow them back bigger and stronger. Now, that is literally the basic principle of lifting weights. Tearing down muscle fibers, resting so the muscle fibers regenerate and grow back bigger and stronger so they can compensate to actually be able to lift the weight. Basically, what the muscle fibers are doing is they're preparing for the next session by growing back bigger and stronger. That's a great way to think about it. Now, the burn that you feel. How you can know when the muscle fibers are being torn is when you feel that excruciating pain. Well, it's not always excruciating, but when you feel that pain in your muscles, you feel that great big burn in the muscle fibers. Now that, my friend, is the muscles being torn down. That is where the muscle fibers are being torn down and then they regenerate when you rest. You get the point. When you feel the burn, the muscle fibers are being torn down, and when you rest, the muscle fibers are being regenerated so they can come back bigger and stronger for the next workout. Now, rest days are going to vary for everybody. Now, I said the basic rule is to take at least 1 to 2 rest days. For me, I can only use one rest day and I'll be fine. But lately, I've been having to use 2, even 3 rest days, which is kind of crazy to think about. But the reason is because I'm training extremely hard. So let me talk about the intensity rest ratio, because this is very valuable information. So if you're training not hard at all, whatever, you're just half-assing your training, going through the motions and whatnot, maybe like what I said earlier, go to lat pull-downs and bench press and then leg extension and then you leave and don't come back for 3 months. If you're that type of, well, not that type of guy, if that's how you train, then you should only use 0 to 1 rest day, because you're not training hard enough. Your muscle fibers don't need as long to regenerate and grow back bigger and stronger. If you're training a little hard, like a little hard, say 6, 7 out of 10 intensity, you're 2 reps shy of failure, something like that, then you're going to need at least 1 rest day. 1 rest day. Now, if you're training extremely hard, like I'm talking failure, past failure, Tom Platz style training, that type of training, drop sets, supersets, whatever, you're going to need to take at least 2 rest days. Now, the reason these rest days align with this training intensity, each of these training intensities, is because if you don't train hard, why would your body need as long to rest? Think of it this way. When you're playing football, right? If you have a really hard game, the other team's super good, they break you down, you lose. Are you going to be having a game the next day? Probably not. Unless you're in a tournament, you're probably not going to be having another game the next day. But if you have a nice and easy practice, are you going to be having another practice the next day? Probably. The games are harder than the practices, right? So my point is, the harder that something is physically, the more you're going to need to rest from it, even mentally, actually. If I'm recording a bunch of these videos, right, then I'm going to need to take maybe like a day off every week. I can't just continue to record these videos because then my mental capacity is just overloading, right? I need to sleep longer also so that I can regenerate mentally and physically from the gym. So my point is, the less intensity you train, with less intensity that you train, you're not going to need to rest as much. But so, like I said, train not hard, 0 to 1 rest days. Train a little hard, at least 1 rest day. Train really, really hard, Tom Platz, at least 2 rest days, okay? So that is the intensity rest ratio. Basically, the basic principle of the intensity rest ratio is the harder you train, the more you need to rest. Just keep that in mind with your training. Okay, but this leads me on to our next chapter, which is chapter 1.5. Actionable step. Find a split which suits your needs. Now, what is a split? A split is basically your routine. It is basically what muscle groups you train on which days of the week. Now, you need to find a split which suits your own needs, not some one-size-fits-all split. You need a split which suits your own needs. Maybe for me, I'm going to need less rest than you, so I train an extra day. But for you, maybe you're going to need more rest so that you don't train as much as me, you take an extra rest day. And maybe you train longer than me, whatever, you do more sets than me, more volume. Maybe I do less, and we both see good results. So there is no one-size-fits-all training program or one-size-fits-all split. But what I would recommend, my recommendation, is you go online, you search up, say, for example, 5-day workout split if you want to train 5 days and rest 2 days out of the week. Or 6-day workout split if you want to train 6 days and rest 1 day. whatever, how many days it is, whatever fits your schedule, whatever fits your needs, your recovery, and whatnot, how long you sleep, what your job is, whatever. Find a split which can actually work for your schedule, and you can realistically go to the gym at least 4 days a week. If your split's 5 days, and you can realistically go at least 4 days, great. If your split's 5 days and you can realistically go 5 days, perfect. Okay? So what I want you to do right now, pause the video, go online, search up blank, whatever, 4, 5, 6 day workout split. Pick a one that you would actually think you would enjoy and that you actually think you could stick to, which, trust me, you can stick to any of them, but choose one which you think you would enjoy the most and which suits your needs. Pause the video right now and go do that, and then come back when you're done. Okay, now that you've found your split, what I want you to do is to go on the Notes app on your phone, and I want you to write down what days you're training what muscle groups. So say, example for me, Monday, chest, triceps, and shoulders. Tuesday, back and biceps. Wednesday, legs. Thursday, chest and back. Friday, rest, right? So obviously don't write down mine exactly unless that is what you're following. But what I want you to do is I want you to write down whatever split you chose. I want you to write down what days you were training and what muscle groups you're training on those days, and also which days you are resting, okay? So for the viewer, right now, pause the video if you need to, go write that down on the Notes app of your phone or in a journal or whatever, diary. Do whatever, but make sure you write this down so you can keep it in mind and you can remember it. Because trust me, if you don't, at the start of your journey, you will kind of start to forget, okay? For me, I'm an advanced lifter, whatever, or not advanced. I'm an intermediate lifter. I've been lifting for over a year, right? I don't have to write mine down anymore. But you probably will, because I'm assuming you're a beginner. You, the viewer who's watching, if you're watching a full guide on how to get jacked, you are a beginner. I'm talking to you, bro. Write this down right now, okay? Chapter 2, find a gym. Another actionable step. This is an actionable guide. This is no bullshit. You're actually going to learn how to get jacked, all the actionable steps that you need to take. What I want you to do right now is I want you to look up on Google, gyms near me. Look up on Google Maps, or Google, whatever. Gyms near me. Gyms near me. Now what you're going to need to do is taper this to your own needs. Now I want you to follow these 3 constraints, okay? There's 3 constraints that you need to follow to find the perfect gym for you. Number 1, it is affordable enough for you to purchase a membership. Number 2, it is close enough to your house that you could realistically go at least 4 times a week. Number 3, it is a gym that you are old enough or young enough, whatever, to go to. Okay? So let me go through that again. Number 1, it is affordable enough for you to purchase a membership. Number 2, you could realistically go there at least 4 times a week. And number 3, it is a gym that you were old enough to go to. Okay? Those are the 3 constraints that you need to follow. Now, I'm going to tell you what to do if you do or if you do not fit these constraints. For the guys who do fit the constraints, amazing. You found a gym, start going to that gym, whatever. Look into the details, the policy, memberships, the community there. See if you like it. And if you do, go ahead, get the membership. Fantastic. For the guys who don't, what I want you to do is consider these 2 options because you have 2 good options. The first option is to start doing body weight exercises at home. So body weight exercises at home. This could be calisthenics, whatever. Push-ups on the ground, pull-ups if you have, like, you could just buy a pull-up bar, whatever. Option 1, body weight exercises at home. So whatever your body weight exercises that you choose to do, whatever, you can do air squats if you want, lunges. I don't know. I don't train body weight exercises at home, but it is still a good option. It is much better than nothing. But option 2 is to start buying gym equipment and create your own home gym. Chapter 2.1, option number 1. If you have chosen option number 1, what you want to do is to utilize 3 movement variations. You want your pushing movements, which are your triceps, shoulders, and your chest. Your pulling movements, which are movements for your back and your biceps. And your leg movements, which are movements for your quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves. Now, these are the 3 movement variations that you want to utilize in your training if you're training bodyweight exercise at home. This is honestly just a basic kind of, it's basic, right? It's the 3 movement variations that you need to know to train properly. It kind of applies to anything, but especially if you're doing the bodyweight exercise at home, you need to know these so that you're not just shooting an arrow in the dark and whatever, just like doing push-ups and squats. You need to train more than just push-ups and squats, bro. Trust me. So actionable step for chapter 2.1. The actionable step, if you've chosen option number 1, only if you've chosen option number 1, is to search on YouTube exercises to build muscle without equipment. And go to videos and find some that you think are good, maybe from a reliable source, maybe Athlete and X, cool guy, maybe Greg Doucette, if he posts those, I don't know. Those are just some recommendations, but go find bodyweight exercises you can do at home on YouTube and save them to your watch for later playlist. Now, this is a very important step because if you just search them, find the video, and you don't save it or like take a screenshot or something, you're just going to forget about it. Honestly, you're just going to forget about it. So save it to your watch for later playlist, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to watch this later on in the video once you've learned all the other things. What this will do is it will give you a variety of exercises which you can use at home with no equipment necessary. That is the best part about this. You don't need any equipment to get jacked. Yes, it's much easier to get jacked if you do have equipment and much more optimal. But yes, let me let you know, you can get jacked without equipment. That is the truth. There are people out there who have fantastic physiques. You ever seen those homeless guys in the parks? Like doing like pull-ups and like muscle-ups and shit. They have almost no equipment and they have fantastic physiques. Those like jacked homeless guys. So you can kind of go DIY here, like do it yourself. You could get like some grocery bags and fill them up with like whatever, just like paper or cardboard or something. Cinder blocks and just do curls with that. You've infinite options here. You can get really creative with this and it'll actually be pretty fun if you're doing it. So yes, there's lots of exercises you can do that are calisthenics based, but then you can also kind of use the environment around you. So say for me, I could fill this water bottle up to the top and put the top on and then do curls with it, right? You have anything. You have a million options. That's what's so great about training at home. You have so many options. Yes, in the gym, in a nice gym, you have a million machines, whatever. But at home, you can be creative with it, and it's honestly really fun to just find new exercises to do all the time. It's very exciting. Trust me. I know what it's like. There's some crazy calisthenics movements that you can get good at. You can do like pike push-ups where it's like, it's almost like a push-up, but you're on like a 90-degree angle. basically, your body is. And then you're just like, you're pushing, but your torso is like facing into the ground. Whatever. Look up bike push-ups if you want to know. But you get what I'm saying. There are so many exercises that you can do at home without equipment. There's infinite options. So instead of feeling bad for yourself and thinking, oh, I don't have any equipment, this sucks, I'm not going to be able to get jacked. No, that is absolutely the wrong mindset to have. You can think, now I have infinite options. I have infinite pieces of equipment around me. Maybe they're not meant for it, but I can make them into that, right? So this option 1 is actually a fantastic option, but I would still recommend you choose option 2. So let's get into option 2. Chapter 2.2, option number 2. For those who have chosen option number 2, I will give you the absolute essentials for a home gym, for a nice home gym. Now, it's not completely necessary to have a gym membership. Like I stated with option 1, you can get jacked with frickin' cinder blocks and water bottles. So, you don't need a gym membership just to build a nice physique. That is the simple truth. And you can actually build a pretty crazy physique with no equipment at all whatsoever. For me, I trained almost a full year. You heard me. Almost a full year with just the basic essentials, which are dumbbells, barbells, plates to go with a barbell, and adjustable bench. Those are the 4 essentials that all you need. That is all you need. Literally all you need to build a crazy physique. I built a pretty good physique. I know I'm getting excited here, but it's like, this is revolutionary for you. You didn't know this. You thought you needed crazy gym membership, whatnot, to build a crazy physique. No, you need just the 4 essentials. Now let me dive into the 4 essentials, though, because you probably want to know more about it. You're intrigued, whatever. Chapter 2.5, the basic essentials. Like I said, there are 4 basic essentials for the home gym. The home gym necessities. You got your dumbbells. Beautiful. Barbells. You don't need multiple barbells. Barbell. So dumbbells, barbell, plates to go with the barbell. I'd recommend grabbing 45-pound plates, 25-pound plates, 10-pound plates, and 5-pound plates. That's pretty much all you need. It's pretty customizable, whatever you can get. 35-pound plates also, and you can also get 2.5-pound plates. But I would just go with those 4. Those are pretty much all you need in terms of plates. And number 4, you need an adjustable bench. Now, what I mean is a bench where you can customize, like, the seat angle and where you're laying on, like, the big angle. So say, like this adjustable chair or whatever. The bench kind of works the same as this. You can lean it back, you can lean it up. Some benches you can even put it on a decline, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm shaking the camera. I just bumped into the table. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. There's so many options for this. Now, actionable step, which is also chapter 2.5, right? We're still on chapter 2.5. The actionable step for this chapter is to go online and search for all 4 of these. Your dumbbells, your barbell, your plates to go with the barbell, and your adjustable bench. Now, it doesn't matter where you get it from. You could get it from Amazon, maybe Dick's Sporting Goods, Dunham's, Walmart. I don't know. It doesn't matter, okay? But if you do want to get it from Amazon, little plug here. If you do want to get it from Amazon, I do have the top-rated equipment for all 4 of these basic essentials: your dumbbells, your barbell, your plates, and your adjustable bench. I will have those in the links in the description of this video. If you want to buy those from Amazon, they're the top-rated ones. This is just to help me out, but it will also help you out too, because you get the top-rated stuff. So it's a win-win for both of us, right? But I want to give you some tips, especially for dumbbell buying. Now, when you're buying dumbbells for your home gym, do not go too heavy. This is what a lot of people do. They make the mistake of going too heavy on their adjustable dumbbells. Well, there's multiple types of dumbbells, right? You got your little adjustable ones where you can change out the weight and everything. And then you have just your ones that are glued on, right? If you're getting adjustable dumbbells, perfect. Then you can customize the weight to whatever you need. But if you're getting just like the glued on dumbbells, like the ones that are stagnant, they stay at the same weight, then what I want you to do is do not go too heavy, because lots of people make this mistake. They make the mistake of letting their ego take control of them and going way too heavy on the dumbbells, and then they can't lift them and they can't use them because they were just being a dumbass with a big ego. So what I want you to do is to find your limitations. Maybe go find some dumbbells. Try some basic exercises like the bench press, curls, skull crushers, which are like basically you lay down on the bench. So you're laying down like this. Oh, shoot. You're laying down like, oh, I'm about to fall. But you're laying down like this and you just extend the dumbbells. That's a skull crusher. But like I said, do not go too heavy. So try out the basic essentials, which dumbbells. Try out the basic exercises with the dumbbells and know your limitations, and then act accordingly and buy based off of how strong you are, not based off of how strong your ego thinks you are, right? Okay. So that's just a little tip, very useful tip though, because this can save you so much time, money, and you'll gain so much more progress so much quicker. Sorry, bro. I just have to blow my nose quick. Okay. Chapter 3. Training style. In this chapter, I'm going to be covering 3 different training styles. We have the bodybuilding training style, the powerlifting training style, and the power building training style. Now I'm going to discuss the basic principles of these training styles. Let's start off with bodybuilding. The first basic principle of bodybuilding is to train in the 8 to 25 rep range. So basically what I mean by this is whenever you're doing an exercise, the repetitions that you do, say bench press, whatever, I was doing a little bench press graphic, but perform 8 to 25 of them. So don't go 1, 2, 3, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. All the way up to 25. But don't go over 25, because when you go over 25, it's kind of cardio. This is like cardio at that point. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? That's the first basic principle. Train in the 8 to 25 rep range on all your lifts for bodybuilding. The second basic principle is to focus on isolation movements with the best contraction. Now, what I mean by this isolation movements with the best contraction, movements that train a specific muscle. So say, for example, curls are an isolation movement. They train your biceps, right? They train your biceps and they have a great contraction. Right here, when you're squeezing the bicep, you're squeezing your bicep at the top. That is the contraction in the muscle. So if you are going to choose the bodybuilding training style, you're going to want to focus on movements that isolate a single muscle group with the best contraction possible, okay? Now, the third bodybuilding principle is to always train within 2 reps till failure. Know what I mean by this? So failure is literally, absolute failure is when you cannot complete any more reps. You do the bench press, whatever, it's stuck on your chest, you fail. You have no spotter because you're a dumbass, but you're stuck, right? That is failure. 2 reps till failure is when you get to the top and you can do 2 more. You probably can do 2 more, but you decide not to. So you want to train somewhere in between there. So maybe 1 rep till failure, or 2 reps till failure. You want to train somewhere in that little range, you know what I'm saying? The little range of 2 reps till failure. Now, powerlifting. Powerlifting is much different than bodybuilding. Let me explain. The first basic principle of powerlifting is to train in the 3 to 8 rep range. So I said for bodybuilding, don't do only 3 reps. do 8, etc. But for powerlifting, 3 reps is fantastic. But 3 to 8, right? You don't only want to do 3 on every single one of your lifts. You want to change it up a little because maybe it gets kind of boring. Maybe it's a little too easy when you're only doing 3. But you want to train in the 3 to 8 rep range in terms of powerlifting. But what I want you to do, if you are choosing the powerlifting training style, is to focus on heavy compound movements like the squat, bench, and deadlift. Squat, bench, and deadlift. Those are the 3 main compounds for powerlifting. There's other stuff like rows, whatever. Stuff like rows. But those are the 3 main compounds for powerlifting. And the third principle of powerlifting is, just like bodybuilding, train always, I repeat, always train hard. Train within 2 reps to failure. So like I said, 2 reps to failure is right here. This is where you can do 2 more reps without failing. Right here, 1 rep to failure. You can do 1 more rep without failing. Here is failure. You can't do any more reps. You failed. Well, you didn't actually fail, but you performed so many reps that the muscle can no longer perform anymore because it is tired, it is fatigued, it is being torn over and over by the amount of repetitions that you're performing. So like I said, for powerlifting, you're going to want to train in a lower rep range with the compound movements like the squat, bench, and deadlift. But just like bodybuilding, you're going to train within 2 reps to failure. But now let's talk about a very unique training style, which is power building. Now, power building is really a combination of powerlifting and bodybuilding, hence the name, power building. It takes the name power from powerlifting and building from bodybuilding. I brain fart for a second there, but don't mind me. So I wanted you to really understand what powerlifting is before I get into it. It is a combination between powerlifting and bodybuilding. So obviously, it combines the 2, right? So the principles kind of align with that. But what are these principles? Mysterious principles, right? We got to know. The first principle is to utilize the 3 to 8 rep range, but not only that, but to also utilize the 8 to 25 rep range. So you're utilizing both rep ranges from bodybuilding and powerlifting to combine them into power building. Now, the prime goal of power building is to build muscle and strength. So that's why we're using the principles from bodybuilding and powerlifting, right? Principle number 2, focus on heavy compound movements and isolation movements that have great muscular contraction. So do your squat, bench, and deadlift, but then also do exercises like tricep extensions, rows, No, shoulder press is compound. Never mind. I was about to say shoulder press, but lateral raises, do those exercises that are isolation, but then also do the compound movements. Because when you combine the 2 of these, that is the optimal formula for muscle building. And we all want to build muscle, right? But then it's also the optimal formula for strength building, which is so absolutely fantastic about this. You will build great muscle, and you will also build great strength. That is the principles of powerlifting, or power build. Brain fart. Sorry, bro. But you get what I'm saying. It combines the principles of powerlifting and bodybuilding. But then, as with those, train within 2 reps to failure. Don't be a bitch. Don't train out of that range. Because I'm getting sick, bro. No, I'm playing, but if you're training out of 2 reps to failure, to absolute failure, say you're training 4 reps to failure, you're not going to make very good gains, strength or muscle. And the reason being, because when you're training 4 reps to failure, you have so much energy left in the tank that you're not utilizing. So not enough muscle fibers are being torn, because as you go on in the set, more muscle fibers are being torn near the end of the set. That's why it gets harder. The muscle fibers are already being torn down, and then they're being torn even more because it becomes harder, because your muscles are fatigued, right? So you get what I'm saying. powerlifting, bodybuilding combined into power building. But then the fourth rule is actually a combination rule. Again, you want to train some powerlifting days and some bodybuilding days. Now, this is an interesting principle that no one really talks about. What I mean by this is some days use the bodybuilding principles, whatever, isolation movements, good contraction, 8 to 25 rep range. But then some days use the powerlifting principles. 3 to 8 rep range, compound movements, squat, bench, deadlift, SBD. You know what I'm saying? So you want to have your bodybuilding days, your powerlifting days, and your rest days if you're doing power building. So that's why we're structuring it like that. It's so you can get the best of both worlds, right? You're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the best of powerlifting, the best of bodybuilding. But now let me give you a recap of our training styles, right? Bodybuilding focuses on isolation exercises in the 8 to 25 rep range. Powerlifting focuses on compound movements in the 3 to 8 rep range like the squat, bench, and deadlift. Power building uses both isolation exercises and compound exercises and also uses the 8 to 25 rep range and the 3 to 8 rep range. All training styles train within 2 reps to failure. So, like I said, bodybuilding, isolation, higher reps. Powerlifting, compound movements, lower reps. Power building, best of both worlds. Low reps, high reps, isolation, compound, all of them train within 2 reps to failure. They all train hard. Another tip, train extremely hard, because if you don't, you're not going to make gains, okay? Simple as that. Chapter 3.3, which style should you use? Now, the training style you pick is going to be dependent on your goals. If your goal is to build lots of muscle mass, get big, whatever, get muscular, get attractive, bodybuilding. If your goal is to build lots of strength, get strong as hell, win those powerlifting competitions, beat everyone up, then do powerlifting. If your goal is to build mass and strength and get the best of both worlds, then you're going to want to pick power building. Now, disclaimer, let me tell you this. If your primary goal is to build an attractive body like this video suggests, then the single best training style is going to be bodybuilding. Because with power building, you're getting the best of both worlds, but you're kind of getting half and half, right? If you go all in on one, then you will get the most out of that. If you go all in on powerlifting, you get the most strength gains. If you go all in on bodybuilding, you're going to get the most muscle gains, right? You get what I'm saying. So I would recommend you choose bodybuilding, because then you will get the most muscle gains. You'll build the most attractive physique. Build your dream body over time. But if you also want the strength gains, whatever you want, both, because your ego tells you that you should be strong. I'm not discrediting powerlifting or power building, but then you can go ahead and choose power building or powerlifting if you want the strength, right? Want the strength and the muscle, power building. Want the muscle, bodybuilding. Want the strength, powerlifting, right? Basic idea of it. But this video is how to build an attractive physique. So I'm going to talk about bodybuilding. Chapter 4, what muscles make you attractive? Now, this is where it gets interesting, and you can actually go ahead and utilize this in your own training. For the male body, there is a certain shape which is extremely attractive to the opposite sex. This shape is known as the V taper. It is basically when your waist connects to your shoulders and forms a V shape, right? How you build the V taper is you need to focus on certain muscle groups. So the question you're asking is, how do we achieve this shape, right? We need to focus on certain muscle groups. Certain muscle groups will make you extremely attractive and get that female eye on you. You will get some bitches finally. because we know that's what you want. They will get that eye on you, and you will become extremely attractive in terms of your body. But what are these muscle groups, right? That's what you're asking. These are known as the aesthetic muscle groups. They are the muscle groups which make up the aesthetically pleasing physique. The physique which is nice to the eye. The eyes love this physique. They are your side delts, so your side deltoids, your lats, basically your upper back, well, and your lower back, but your lats, your upper chest, so up here, top shelf, right? Your traps, up here by your neck, your traps, the long head of your tricep, that's basically, you can't see my tricep because I'm wearing a hoodie, but it's going to be this one back here, which is closer to the lat. The long head of the tricep, that's the biggest head of the tricep, so it will actually accumulate the most mass onto your triceps. And finally, the abs. So your abdominals, your six-pack, whatever you want to call it. Now, the abs are revealed when you have low body fat percentage. So for that, you need to have a good diet, right? There's no escaping the good diet, okay? But I will be making a full nutritional guide in the future, just like whatever. This is the full how to build an attractive physique guide. I will be building a full nutritional guide for whatever health, muscle growth, productivity, everything. So if you don't want to miss that, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss my upcoming uploads, including the full nutritional guide. But let me focus on the other muscles since abs are mostly diet and body fat percentage. Now, I will give you the single best exercises for each muscle group. The single best exercise for each muscle group. Starting with the side delts. For the side delts, you want to focus on your cable lateral raises. Now, cable lateral raises. What are cable lateral raises? So basically, you go to the cables in the gym, right? Say if you're in the gym. This is focusing on bodybuilding if you want. This is for the guy who has the gym. If you don't have the gym, so cable lateral raises for the guy who has the gym. If you don't have the gym, you're going to want to do dumbbell lateral raises or like trash bag lateral raises. I don't know. But your lateral raises are like that. Right? Those are your lateral raises. For your side delts, your cable lateral raises. Cables are the ones where you have the little handle. It's on the little wire. Put it down low. Lift it up high. Focus on the top. Go slow. Don't hold it at the bottom too much. Don't stay at the bottom. Hold it at the top. Really fry the delts like that. That's a great way to fry your side delts. So cable lateral raises for the side delts. Lateral raises if you have the gym equipment. And also the trash bag lateral raises if you don't have any equipment. Or there's probably plenty of other exercises you can do. You can look them up. Side delt exercises with no equipment if you want to look that up. For the lats, lat pull-downs are great. And if you have a pull-up bar, then you can do just pull-ups. Pull-ups like this. I don't mean chin-ups, okay? I mean pull-ups, and specifically wide grip. Because that's what's really going to expand those lats and give you that V shape in your physique, okay? So lat pull-down variation, however you say that word, variations, yeah. Or pull-ups. So yeah, that kind of works for anybody, right? Pull-ups or lat pull-downs, right? For the lats, because that's really going to expand that lats and get that great shape. And this ties into the side delts. The lat goes up and then caps off at the side delt, curves over with the side delts. So the side delts are really going to pop that V shape. That V shape's really popping with the side delts and the wide lats. So that's why you want to get these lat pull downs and these cable lateral raises. Upper chest. Now, upper chest, the V shape is formed, right? This is going to really round off that shape nicely, and it's just going to build some nice titty mass. I don't mean gynecomastia, but I mean some nice mass on the chest. Extremely attractive. For if you're in the gym, right? If you're in nice gym, I would go with the incline hammer strength press. And the incline hammer strength press, two handles right here. push up. This is really going to isolate that upper chest nicely. You'll get a little bit of front delt activation, but mostly that upper chest is being trained, that upper shelf. Get that nice superhero chest look, which we all want, right? Get that nice little upper shelf. For the triceps, or no, not the triceps, I meant the traps. You want to go with your trap bar shrugs. Before I talk about the trap bar shrugs, I forgot to mention, for the upper chest, yes, the incline hammer strength press works, but if you don't have that, whatever, you just have a barbell or dumbbell, I would go with the incline dumbbell press, and then the incline push-up is good. The incline push-up is great. Or is it the incline or the decline push-up? Shit, I really don't know. Of the decline push-up. The decline push-up is great for your upper chest, okay? You're really going to want a nice decline push-up for the upper chest. That's if you're at home, guy with equipment, incline dumbbell press, and the guy at the gym, the incline hammer strength press is fantastic. Okay? Traps. Trap bar shrugs. Trap bar shrugs. So the trap bar is basically, it's this, so you have your basic barbell, right? It's just straight. The trap bar, it's this little like hexagon bar looking thing, right? There's handles on each side. There's the little bars where you put the plates on, right? You get this, and how you perform a shrug is you go up like that, okay? You go up like that. That's how you perform your trap bar shrug. If you don't have a trap bar and you have dumbbells, do some dumbbell shrugs, right? These are shrugs. Don't do a shrug where you go like this, okay? We're not dancing here. But whatever, dumbbell shrug if that's what you have to do. Okay? So your trap bar shrugs, your dumbbell shrugs, or your trash bag shrugs. It doesn't have to be a trash bag, but you get what I'm saying. Get something, weight, if you're at home, no equipment. Get some weight, which you can shrug on. Get equal weights on each side, okay? And that will really build those traps. Get that nice thick neck kind of look. I would also recommend training neck, even though it's not on here. You can look up how to train neck elsewhere, because I don't have a full guide to neck training, okay? Hamza is a good one, though, so go check out Hamza Ahmed on YouTube if you want to train your neck, you know. But long head of the tricep, okay? Now, your long head of your tricep. This is the one, like I said, it's going to get the most mass. It's really going to get that horseshoe look on the tricep. Build it real nicely. So with the long head of the tricep, I like the overhead cable extension. So this one, you get two cables. You know, your basic like tricep, you get the rope pushed down. You get the same rope, but you want to turn behind. You want to go like this, and you want to extend upwards. Extend like this. Extend somewhat like that. And maybe that's not perfect form, but you get what I'm saying. That's great. If you just have the dumbbells and the bench, I would go with a dumbbell skull crusher, which is also an amazing exercise. So basically, let me do my little skull crushers on my chair. Go down with the dumbbells. Both of those exercises will absolutely fry the triceps. Now, I'm going to give you a little compound movement for the guys at home. I'm going to give you the pike push-up. It's a great one. It'll work the upper chest, it'll work the front delts, and it will work that long head of the triceps. So you get 3 in 1, right? Whatever. Just use the basic bodybuilding principles. Train hard as hell. Use some great exercises like these, and you'll get fantastic results. But let me give you the recap. Long. Side delts. Cable lateral raises. Lats. Lat pull downs. Wide grip. Upper chest. Incline hammer strength press. Traps. Trap bar shrugs. And for long head tricep, overhead cable extensions. Now let me go for the at home variation. Cable lateral raises. No. Lateral raises. Pull ups. For the lats. For the chest, you're going to go with your incline dumbbell press. For the trap bar shrugs, you're going to go with dumbbell shrugs. And for the overhead cable extensions, you're going to go with your dumbbell skull crushers for the long head of the tricep, right? At home, trash bag lateral raises, or like grocery bag, whatever. Pull-ups, because you can find anything to do pull-ups on, right? I can do pull-ups on my door frame, so it's like pull-ups, right? Push-ups, your incline push or your decline push-up specifically. Decline push-up, so basically push-up where you are facing down. Your head is at the lowest angle. Your feet are up here on something, and you're doing your push-ups. That will really work that upper shelf. Get that nice upper chest superhero look. For your traps, you're going to want to do water bottle shrugs or something. Grab some weight, do some shrugs. Simple as that. For your triceps, pike push-ups. These are great. Look up pike push-ups. Do them. You will get some nasty-looking triceps, some nasty-looking upper chest, and nasty-looking front delts. Okay? Those are all fantastic exercises to train these train the 5, but you can also train abs if you want whenever you do your crunches. But the 5 main muscle groups to train to become aesthetic are side delts, your lats, your upper chest, your traps, and your long head of the triceps. All fantastic exercises. Go check these out online, research them. Now, all these movements are great muscle building exercises that will help you make progress towards that fantastic V taper shape. And if these exercises work well for you and you make great progress, go ahead and comment down below for more exercise recommendations, because I got you, bro. Don't even worry about it. Chapter 5. Extra tips and tricks. These last 4 chapters were the main part of the videos. But let me give you some tips and tricks to skyrocket your progress in the gym. Number 1, don't go with just random form on any exercise. Look up the form for the exercise that you're doing. Say you are doing your barbell bench press. Don't just go ahead and start doing it. Look up the form, the correct form for the barbell bench press, and then do it, and you will see much, much better results. Same applies to any other exercise. Say you're doing lat pull downs. Don't don't use so much momentum. Maybe go a little slower. Control the negative. Nice and slow. And get that nice full range of motion. But look up the form on the exercises. That was my tip number 1. Tip number 2. Control the negative on your motions, okay? Control the negative on your motions. So say you're doing a dumbbell bench press. I'm just using like bench press variations because it's much easier. You go up, right? The negative is the part where you're going down. Go slow on this. That will really fry those muscle fibers, tear them nicely, really help you build that nice chest. But it applies to any muscle group. You can do that with all the aesthetic muscle groups that I named and any other ones. Even like your freaking quads, right? You can train your quads nicely, but control that negative. If you're doing squats, doing barbell back squat, control that negative super nicely, and then go up and exert as much force as possible on the way up. Now, that was my second tip. My third tip. Sleep properly. Please, bro, sleep properly. For me, when I first started, I was not sleeping well. I did not have any like sleep hacking or whatever, all these terms. I was not sleeping properly. I would like watch my phone before I slept, get all the blue light, delay my melatonin, and then I would sleep terribly. So I really recommend you learn how to sleep properly, okay? Because you probably think you're sleeping properly, but trust me, you can unlock so much more gains, so much more potential gains if you were to just sleep to your fullest potential. I would recommend trying to get 10 hours of sleep is good, because we have sleep efficiency rates, so you're probably only going to end up sleeping 8 hours in total. So if you can, I would recommend trying to get 10 hours of sleep. And also, I do have some products if you want to try them to improve your sleep. I have an eye mask, and I also have a sunrise alarm clock, which are in the about section of my channel and my links. So you can go check those out if you want. Those are great products to help you improve your sleep, whatever, get more gains, more productivity, better person overall if you sleep better, right? That is my third and final tip. So I had my 3 tips for you there. Go ahead, utilize those, but I have so many more tips and tricks that you can use to absolutely explode your results in the gym. So go watch my video right here. 10 rules that made me jacked. No. Where is it? It's somewhere. Go watch my video, 10 rules that made me jacked. Okay? It's a great video. Lots of tips and tricks that will skyrocket your progress in the gym. And as always, I love you, bro. Don't become wasted potential. Mwah.